Years ago, in one of the good yeshivas of the United States, there was a good student that was engaged to get married. A few days before his wedding day, his parents revealed the biggest secret of his life to him. They told him that he was not their biological child, and he was adopted as a minor, and that his biological mom was a non-Jew, and he was converted as a minor. Now, in those cases, the halacha, the Jewish law, requires that the parents inform the child of his real background when he reaches the age of bar mitzvah. And then he can decide for himself whether he wants to accept the conversion and be a Jew or he wants to reject it. Now, the parents of our story, for whatever reason, decided to delay this moment until a few days before this young man was getting married. And the young man of our story astonished everybody by deciding to stay a non-Jew. He didn't accept his conversion. In his book Pirkei Machshavah, Rabbi Ezriel Tauber says that he found this story very shocking, because after 2 decades of excellent Torah education, this young man still didn't choose the flavor of Shabbat and Jewish holidays and the pleasure of in-depth Torah learning. He says, if this young man had known the true light and joy of being a Jew, he wouldn't have exchanged it for anything else in this world. Obviously, until that day, this young man lived his Judaism, his Yiddishkeit, simply as a spiritual heritage that was passed down to him. So as soon as he found out that it was actually not his heritage, he didn't want it anymore. And then Rabbi Ezriel Tauber asks, what about us? How do we connect with our Judaism? Do we keep the laws of Torah simply because this is our heritage? This is what we received from our parents, from our teachers? Or does it have a personal meaning to us? If a Jew feels that a big part of his Judaism lacks originality and doesn't have personal meaning to him, that's a sign that something is wrong. It's a sign that he hasn't discovered and internalized the joy of being a Jew yet. There is a pasuk in Sefer Shemot that says, Zeh Keili ve'anvehu, Elokei avi ve'arom menhu. This is my God and I will beautify him. This is the God of my father and I will elevate him. The Shelach HaKadosh says that if we come to the realization that this is my God because of my own understanding, then I get to anvehu, which means I will beautify him, but it's also made up of ani vehu, I and him. This implies a personal connection here. But if God is my God simply because he's the God of my father, then we lack that personal element here. Then I will elevate him, aramamenhu, meaning he will be up there, I will be down here. In my heart, I will feel detached from him. In other words, knowledge and service of God that merely stems from this spiritual heritage that has been passed down to me from my fathers lacks that originality and personal touch. A Jew becomes a unique and original individual when he lives his Judaism because he chooses to do so, because he understands that this is the biggest happiness on earth. And only then he can project this inner happiness to all his surroundings and influence others. And here's a good example to illustrate this point. There's a synthetic type of potato that tastes and smells exactly like real potato. But there's one difference. When you plant the synthetic potato, nothing grows, because only original things can sprout and grow. The same is true for us. Hashem wants us to be original. He wants us to spread and communicate our Judaism to others, and especially to our children at home. And kids have highly developed sensors. They realize how happy we are keeping the laws of Torah. If we really want to instill Torah values in our children successfully, the secret is that they need to see that we are happy in our Avodat Hashem. They need to see that it doesn't feel like a burden on us. So remember, the secret ingredient is happiness. To the extent that we can enhance our own inner happiness in our Avodat Hashem, we will be able to pass down this heritage of Torah and mitzvot to our children after us. Baruch Adonai Leolam, Amen v'Amen.